Good morning. Welcome to Market Monday. As we head into the second week of the year, we're continuing to see evidence of our main theme this year, a market seeking balance. Look at this. This is basically a live look at tech company layoffs over the past 12 months. It even includes Salesforce's announcement of a 10% workforce reduction announced on January 4th. That's right there. A couple big ones in November. This is Meta, what used to be called Facebook. Here's Twitter showing up twice, basically after Elon Musk took over the social network. And of course, Amazon is this big one here. And we just see a lot of different tech companies with the total number of layoffs up here. So started the year in low single thousands, and by May, every month for the rest of the year except September saw layoffs over 20,000 in each month, with a monster 60,000 layoffs in November. Of course, one of the more striking viral trends last year were these a day in the life video where young tech workers documented their exceedingly cushy workday. Here's one from a Twitter employee. Have a look.
Welcome to a day in my life as a Twitter employee. So this past week went to SF for the first time at a Twitter office, badged in. Honestly, took a moment to just soak everything in. What a blessing. Also started my morning off with an iced matcha from the perch. Then I had a meeting, so quickly scheduled one of these little pod rooms, which were so cool. They're literally noise canceling. Took my meeting, got ready for lunch. Look how delicious this food looks. Oh my goodness, I was so overwhelmed. Then made my way down to this log cabin area. I don't know what this is, but it was really cool. Played some foosball with my friends to kind of unwind a bit. Also found this really cool meditation room that I thought was super neat. I didn't do any yoga, but they have this yoga room if you are a yogi, so also thought that was really cool. Had a couple more meetings in the afternoon, had a ton of projects that we needed to knock out. Say hi to my teammates. Went to the library to kind of get some more work done. Obviously had to have our afternoon coffee, so made some espresso. And then before leaving for the day, had some red wine that's on tap. Went up to the rooftop and just honestly enjoyed the beautiful weather. So awesome trip.
Pretty remarkable, right? But they had these for Meta, Facebook, and others. So I think we're seeing a tech sector that got bloated as it was almost an arms race to attract the best tech talent, now right-sizing itself. Just like Matt was saying last week, these Super 7 companies have lost hundreds of billions, if not trillions of market cap value over the past year. Speaking of, does anybody remember this thing? Of course you do, the PDA, Personal Digital Assistant. Took out that little stick out of the top. This one is a Palm PDA. And in the year 2000, the company's market value was more than Apple, Google, and Amazon combined. So whereas we look at these Super 7 every couple weeks, it's only a matter of time before other companies replace these. An interesting way we like to view this is to look at the top 10 largest stocks in the S&P 500 over the years. In 1980, we had AT&T way out in front, then IBM, followed by 5 oil companies. By 1985, IBM replaced AT&T at the top by a country mile, replacing AT&T, which is now the 4th largest, and General Motors slips into the top 5. By 1990, AT&T is barely in the top 10. IBM is down to 3rd. Exxon is one of the 2 oil companies in the top 10. Philip Morris is now number 2. And we see a rise of Walmart into the top 5. And look here, we see a couple pharmaceutical companies entering the top 10. Fast forward to the year 2000, and GE is now at the top spot. Microsoft is 2, Walmart is still hanging in there in the top 5, and Exxon still in the top 3. Now, in 2010, Exxon's still at number 1, been in the top 5 for decades now. Now we see the tech names we talked about a little earlier begin to dominate. Apple replaces Microsoft at number 2, Walmart hanging in the top 5, And we see Google, IBM holding its own at number 6. By 2015, Apple solidifies its dominance as number 1, with the usual suspects, Google and Microsoft, rounding out the top 3. Amazon now at number 6, followed by Facebook. And in 2020, Apple, of course, is still at the top. Amazon into the top 3, with the usual suspects, Google and Facebook, rounding out the top 5. And Walmart is still hanging in the top 10. We show this to remind ourselves that while the dominant companies of today have dominated recent history, we can't get fixated on these companies like it's going to be that way forever. But how can we be so sure we capture the next top companies? Own the index. And for many clients, that's what we do. Can it become overweighted in certain sectors at times, like tech in the 2020s? Sure it can, but the index will naturally correct or find balance, as we talk about so often here at Market Monday. Well, with the S&P 500 stock market finishing the year down 19.4%, where does that fall within other calendar year returns? Here we're looking at calendar year returns since 1950. If the average annual return over that time period is 9.1%, let's call that between 8 and 10. How many of these 72 years were quote unquote average between 8 and 10? Turns out not many. Only 4 in fact. So when we hear this long-term average return, let's remind ourselves that most years aren't going to be average. That's why we have to sustain through tough years like last year to reap the rewards in the not so average years too. We hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a great week.